Let's go around. My name is Cam with Cam's Crappie Hole. Listen, I hope you guys have been enjoying the segments of me being on the water, showing you guys what we're using, you guys being my board members, investing in me so I can turn around and invest those funds into more crappie items, rod, reels, plastic, hooks. Congratulations, by the way, all of my subscribers and my supporters. Guys, we now have the sharpest crappie hook in the world, okay? Thanks to you guys, okay? This is all you're doing. I just hold the camera. That's all I do. Okay, but we're going to do something different, a little bit different today, okay? I want to show you guys, I'm gonna make this very, very simple ABC 1, 2, 3 type stuff. You guys see this, right? Every day, you see this, right? Grass, right? All right, every day you see that. Okay, look up top. You see the trees, right? I'm going to give you what you guys take for granted so much. Okay, just bear with me a little bit. Well, Cam, where are you going with this whole thing? Just bear with me a little bit. I'm going to show you guys this. Look at this. Let me get down here in the corner. You see this? Can you guys see that? That's called erosion. Okay, that's called erosion. You see how they're starting to eat away at my shoreline? Can you see that? The water, it rises, falls, and guess what stops erosion? Erosion is a fancy word from depletion. Okay, take away. Over time, it erodes it. It works its way into this dirt, this water, okay? And what stops erosion? A lot of times you guys will see on construction sites, you'll see a black soot fence that they put up. That's called erosion control. They put it around the outer perimeters. A lot of times you guys will see bales of wheat straw. That's to stop the flow into the S&S, sanitary storm, okay? That's part of erosion control, okay? So you can see this is my shoreline here. This is my shoreline. And you can see where it's eating away. So I'm going to have to put some riprap here, which are big granite boulders, to stop the erosion. You guys see that around big bodies of water too. All right, what is a natural erosion controller? Look, grass and trees. Grass and trees. So what happens is when it rains, if there is no grass, if there are no trees to soak up that water, this is what happens, erosion. Now, Cam, I'm starting to follow you a little bit, guys. I'm going to bring it full circle, okay? Listen, get yourself something to drink. This is a different segment. Look, there's my boat with those long 9 and 10-foot yank sticks on there. I'm getting ready to head out this evening. We're going to go on a little hike real quick, and I'm going to bring it full circle to show you exactly what I mean by erosion and why grass and trees and underbrush is so important. All right, get yourself something to drink, sit back, relax, and I'm gonna bring this thing full circle. Let me get over here to my site so I can show you what I mean. Yank. All right, you see this beautiful little stream? Let's go down here a little bit so we can take a closer look. Okay, this is, guys, I just want to inform you of what's going on around you. Okay, this is off the beaten path of any of my fishing videos, but it's educational. I want the kids to know this. I want you guys to know this. Okay, this is very, very important. All right, so let me get across here. This stream here, this stream runs into our subdivision. This stream. And what happens is there is a major company. You guys know the company. Okay, they're a juggernaut. The company name begins with an A. Okay, and this is what happens. This stream, this waterway, runs behind. Let me get in a stable spot. Here we go. Behind that big company. A couple of years ago, they came and they cleared out 80 acres. 80 acres. Okay? And they replaced it with asphalt and concrete. Okay? You take 80 acres and you strip it away, all the trees and all the grass. Look at that. You can see where it's running. It runs all the way up there. Okay? And when you have a major storm, this little beautiful stream turns into a serious waterway. Okay, and you can see the sand, how high it goes. It comes up all the way up to here. You can see it. Okay, look at the erosion up there. Look at those roots that are exposed. It goes all the way up there. That's what happens when you strip away trees and you strip away all the grass. Okay, so what happens is now when it rains, a major storm, that rain and that water has nothing to slow it down. It has nothing to drink that water, to soak up that water. The grass and trees are gone. Okay? So what happens, that rain picks up speed, hits these waterways. Now this beautiful stream becomes a major force, carries all that soot all the way down here. Okay? All the way down here. And it completely engulfs this waterway running into where Cam fishes. You guys remember the segment that I did? Telling you that our crappie hole is filling up. I was right over here. This is what happens. We have to move about 8,000 to 10,000 yards of soot, sand. Okay, and you can see where we did construction here, where we had to put that riprap. You can see it over there too. That riprap, as I said earlier, stops erosion. When you strip away the grass, the dirt and the soil is exposed. So this waterway fills up like it's doing right now, fills up, and it gets this high. So you have to put a barrier to stop the erosion, the ground from washing away into the lake. Okay? Again, this is what happens. When you strip away the natural erosion, which is grass and the trees, because when it rains, nothing is there to soak it up anymore. Nothing is there to soak it up. So it picks up speed running off of that parking lot, that concrete, that asphalt, and it washes. It comes into here with major force, and it brings all this. That's the importance of having grass, trees, and underbrush. Again, we're having to pay for that company that begins with an A of progress. That's why when you see a subdivision, somebody's building a subdivision, they go back and they plant trees and they plant grass in the front yard. Look over there. You see how that water level came so high up there from over the years? You see that? Where that erosion, that waterway came in here with such force that they had to put grass there and they had to put riprap there. So we're having to do this now. Okay? So we're stockpiling this, all this sand. You guys saw me on my other video walking on this. We're stockpiling this with a dump truck on site. And this is the soot. Now, let me explain this to you. Guys, this right here, that's sand. When it washes in, it's not going anywhere. This down here is mud. That's mud. There's a difference between sand and mud. So we're talking about 8,000, 10,000 yards of dirt that has to be hauled away. You guys remember the video that I did when we did this? Matter of fact, I'm gonna walk around to that other excavator. And by the way, guys, I was in construction before I got into doing this. Okay, so they're checking the topo lines on the entire lake to make sure that this waterway is the only one that brought in this much soot. And I asked him, the guy that is doing the job, he said this was unprecedented, that this much soot came in here that fast. They were just here in 2023, so it's 2 years ago. Okay, let's go over here. We're going to look at the other track hole as well. Okay, and they float. That's one of the cool things about it. Here's the other track hole, and it looks like the tracks, they float. Okay, so what happens is this guy here digs up the soot, and that machine over there sucks it all the way out. Let's see if he's gonna run it. Okay, and those tracks float. Check that out. And that bucket has a thumb on it. Why it has a thumb, I'm not really sure. And you guys remember on one of my segments I did a couple of years ago, I got on that machine out there. Is that really cool or what? Alright, so one other thing I want to show you. Way off in the distance, you can see they got a little bit of erosion. You can see it's muddy here, but they have like a soot fence there, and on the other side the water's clear. That's to stop the murky, all the soot from running in the rest of the lake. We're going to walk over there, we're going to take a look at that as well. Pretty cool. We're going to come back and we're going to get a closer look at that floating track hoe as well. So imagine this as being a little small pond. This is where they're working, okay? And you can see the water's like chocolate milk, right? This is where they're working right now. This is where they're getting all the soot out from this area right here. You can see the chocolate milk. Well, this is like a water erosion control. You see how this is where I fish at, on around that corner, the bend. That's Cam's crappie hole there, and this is where they're working. So they put this up to stop the soot from running into the rest of the lake when they're digging it up. Look, chocolate milk, stained. Look like a little bit's getting through where the erosion, imagine that's from the wind, but this is the barrier that they set up and they work over here. Okay, so imagine this being a pond. This is the huge reservoir over here. So they try to stop as much of this chocolate milk from working, flowing into the rest of the water. And that's done via this fence here, this mesh fence. Okay, so it stops all of that. You can see them out there working right now. Okay, so that little machine over there pumps after they dig with the track hoe, all the soot out. They have to go back over and make sure that it's level, that they didn't miss any spots, that they didn't go back over the same spot. And that vehicle, which we're getting ready to walk all the way back around, wrapping it up, I'm going to show you how it works, and it pumps all that soot and it stockpiles it through a yellow tube, and I'm going to show you guys that. But this is educational. I wanted you guys to see this, the process. Now, the reason why we have to do this, pardon the wind, the reason why we have to do this body of water is the second largest private lake in the state of Georgia. If we do not take care of this body of water, the state will come in and they will fill it in. So there are rules and regulations, and the dam all the way in the back, that's a class 1 dam, and the Army Corps of Engineers maintains that dam. Okay, so I've been living here, guys, since I was 19 years old, 20 years old. I've been living here a long time with my parents when they first moved here. So we have about 1,198 homes in this whole entire subdivision, and when we moved here, our house was the 6th house here. All that I used to fish when it wasn't nothing but woods over there. Just to kind of give you guys some context, okay? So let me get ready to wrap this thing up, put it in complete context for you guys so you can understand what we're looking at, the project that we're undertaking. You can see he's messing with that yellow tube right now, and that acts like a vacuum, and it's attached to that green item all the way over there with the pontoons on the side. We're getting ready to walk back over there now, and I'm going to show you the yellow tube that it sucks at like 300 yards, long way away, to get all that soot out from in the bottom. Remember I told you about that long tube, right? Here it is right here. This is that long tube, and when they turn it on, it vacuums all that soot out, and look, it runs about 300 yards all the way from that green. They just started it up. You can hear it. Okay, it runs underneath the water. It's like a big hose, and it runs all the way up here. Okay, and it sucks all that soot out from the bottom, and they stockpile it all the way over here. Let me see if I can show you guys how far it runs. Look at that. And those look like spare hoses there when one of them has a puncture in it or something to that effect. You can see like this one right here sprang a leak right here. You can see where they taped it up. Look at that. It runs all the way up there, okay? and they stockpile it. Let's see if I can get up here. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it, but let's go up here anyway. Okay? Remember I was telling you guys about that erosion control, the fence? Look, there's part of what you see whenever you ride by a construction site. Let's see if I can make it up here. Whoa! Cam, what are you doing? Okay, see? Look at that. That's soot fence. That stops erosion right there. I ain't never been up here before. We're going in unventured territory. Look at this. And they stockpile it all the way up here. So the soot comes here and the water drains out there. Let's go up here and see. Wow, check this out. Look at this. This is like a sediment pond here. See? And they put all the soot up here. Little skidster. There's the tandem. Okay? And that yellow hose, look, right here. Okay? And that's where they put all the soot. So the water runs off and is strained and it goes back down. Okay? And this is where they bring all the soot that they're digging up, the sand mostly, and they stockpile it on site, right here. Once they bring it up and dump it, the skidster spreads it out. Okay? In closing, let's go back down here. We're going to look at this track hole. Look at that. Give you a real close look at it. Look at that shit. And I'm going to show you the machine that's pumping it all the way up here. About 300 yards. That sucks all the soot from the bottom. In the front, it has like a grinder on the front end, like a tractor, and it just moves around and sucks all that soot up, and they pump it where you guys just saw, where we just came from, okay? And this is that track hoe up here that floats that we saw earlier. And you can see him digging up all the soot right there. Now, all of this, guys, is caused by man. Simple. You take away the grass, you take away the trees, you take away the undergrowth, and this is the process that has to take place. Now, normally we wouldn't do this type of project. We wouldn't do this once every 8 years. But now we have to do it every 2 years. Not to mention the storms are getting stronger. Okay? And listen, when I was in construction, your driver, whenever he dips that bucket, he makes sure that bucket is full. Because if that bucket is not full, you're burning fuel from not a full bucket. Now you can see what that thumb is for. Okay, no wasted motion on that track hole. Zero wasted motion. You guys see that? Watch this. No wasted motion. Because every wasted motion, you're burning fuel. And that bad boy floats like that. That's incredible. Let's get a real close look at it again. So after he gets finished doing what he's doing, then that tractor's going to come up here with the pontoons. He's going to come up here and suck all this soot to make sure the bottom is level. And they come in with sonar to make sure everything's good, that no spots were missed. Look how he's pushing it. Okay, so guys, again, man-made. All this is man-made. Now imagine you take this project here and go all around the world and this is happening. Listen, I thought this was good for me to come out here and show you guys, to take the time so you can see this. Look at that. Love heavy equipment. All this produces a healthy lake. Incredible, right? Incredible. Incredible. Look at that. smell it too. Look how that bucket's full. Home, square root 1. And I told you guys I wanted you to be a little bit patient with me. And because of the grass and the trees, we have to go through that entire process. This little stuff here that you guys walk on, don't even pay it any attention, is God's nature's way of erosion, natural erosion control, plus the trees, plus the underbrush. Okay? Guys, if you need anything to catch crappie, you know we have the largest crappie store in the e-commerce store in the world, and I want to tell you guys, every year we donate to DNR, Department of Natural Resources. So your money, percentage of your funds from your sales goes to help keeping the waterways clean. Okay, so you know I've always been an outdoorsman. I've always spent a lot of time outside. But I want to tell you guys, because of you, I'm able to do this. And I want to say thank you so much for 11 years. We're starting to work on our 12th year of doing this. Over a decade. Can you believe that? Okay, so stay tuned for more videos, guys. But I'm so happy that you came by, that you were patient with me. I know you were saying, like, what is Cam doing now? What is this guy doing? But anyway, we took it around the circle so you guys can see. I hope you guys picked up something that you can put in your pocket, teach your kids. And remember, we're a family channel. You will not hear any profanity, any adult situations on any of my videos for almost 12 years running. Okay, so thank you so much for being here, love and support. Till next time, it's your boy Cam. Yank!